Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today's Monday. We got a lot of people have left the campground here. Um, I wanted to chat about my daily routine, as I start to get back into things, and what I changed yesterday and how it went. So that's what is in store for this video off the top of my mind right now. My alarm goes off at 6:30. I have been waking up at 6:30 for quite a while, and out here I've been going on a morning walk, 15 minutes, and then I will come back, make some coffee, and jump straight into work. I tend to start working between like 7:03 and 7:22, I think was today. So, and then I'll work until between 11:30 and noon, about 4 hours. Take a lunch break. I will eat outside in this chair on the other side of the van, and typically listen to slash watch some YouTube videos as I eat and just gaze at the views here. And then I've been gone for a about 30-minute walk after lunch, and then I come back and I sit here. I make a video, and and then I usually have a second, like an afternoon block of work between whatever 1 and 4 ish. Um, what am I thinking about? It's not always 100% work. Um, I think if you average the last couple days, it was like 2:30 to 4 ish of work. And then I like to go on a run slash workout, run plus workout in the afternoon right before dinner. And I'll share why in a bit, but that ends up being like, I don't know, 4:30, 4:45 to 6 ish, then make dinner, um, and eat until 7 ish. And then past couple days has been like 7 to 8, has been kind of doodling around, doing some Duolingo, budgeting yesterday. Was that yesterday? No, the day before. I made the video yesterday. And then if you've been listening the past couple days, I've been trying to get back into sleep routine where 8 o'clock rolls around and I stop any screen time and then read until 8:30, and then 8:30 start my bedtime routine and go to bed between, I mean, yesterday was like 9:04, but if you looked at the last 7 days, it's like between 9:15 and 9:45 ish. So, anyway, that's the routine that I've been in so far. A couple things to note from experimenting and learning over the past couple of years now. I have found the morning work session block to be the most effective. Wake up, no breakfast, black coffee, working for between 3 and 5 hours, just like total focus, maybe 1 to 2 to 3 breaks, but just like total focus, getting work done. And I typically feel like I'm starting to hit a wall around 11:30, which has been the indication that I think I'm onto something in terms of the amount of time spent focused deeply. And then most times post lunch, it's a lot harder to focus. And so that's when I get some like administrative things done, make a video, go on a walk, that kind of stuff. But between like 1 or 2 and 4, I do try to squeeze a little bit more work out. Um, and then I have found the right before dinner workout time to be the most effective. Because, and I think I've chatted about this before, but the way I see it, I don't want to work out fasted, which means I wouldn't work out in the morning unless it was like first thing in the morning, go for a run or something. But I choose to spend my attention and energy on focused work, mental work in that time rather than physical, because I find that I can be mentally tired but still work out physically and challenge myself physically. But if I'm physically tired, it's harder to focus mentally. That's something that I've found. I don't know if anyone else also thinks that. But so I don't do it in the morning. I don't do it before lunch because I'm spending that time focused, which leaves basically, and then I don't want to do it after I eat a meal, which means there's basically 2 blocks left, and that's like 3 to 5 right before dinner and like 2 hours after dinner. But that's typically when I'm starting to go to bed. So essentially, I've landed on pre dinner workouts, and they've gone quite well. Yesterday, this is the one thing that I've changed, or that I changed yesterday. I went on a run earlier. I think it was 3:30 rather than like 4:30ish when I usually do it. And I felt a little bit of cramping on my run. I also pushed a little bit harder. And it was also more hot out temperature wise, which is another reason because I started to implement this. Can I say that? I don't know. I was gonna say I started to implement this in Southeast Asia, for sure. In Bali, when I was like getting back into a routine, it's hot in Bali, and so I would always not want to work out, between noon or like 10 and 3 when sun is peak um, in the sky, and it was always nicer around 4, 5, 6 p.m. So I worked out yesterday, 3:30 ish. The reason I did that is because I wanted to take a shower outside when it was kind of warm out. I've noticed that because it's dry up here in the mountains, it's very cool in the shade. Like right now, it's like perfect, probably 70 Fahrenheit. But as soon as you walk into the sun, like the radiant energy of the sun feels warm, and so I take a shower with my sink faucet, turn it around outside the door, and then just turn it on. And that's nicer when it's warm out because the water is cold. Sitting in my van all day. So anyway, that was a plus. But I found that I had more time in after dinner in the evening, and typically I don't like that because when I have more time after dinner, there's so many variables here. I was just thinking, there's another factor and variable here that I've been trying to experiment with, and that's the time. The what would you call it? The last your last meal time before going to bed. How much time? Whether that's like an hour before bed, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it is. So that was one of the things that I was also experimenting with yesterday. Was trying to eat sooner to hopefully get better sleep. But I don't like to have time after dinner because if you've listened to Brian Johnson, you may have heard him talk about the multiple selves that he has or had, and one of them being Evening Brian, and how Evening Brian is like the most tired and just wants to eat junk food and stay up watching TV and whatever else, and those decisions affect Morning Brian, which is like peak focus, peak energy, um, can think the most clearly or clearest. And I also, I mean, if you watched my video, was it yesterday or the day before? I don't remember. About the mistake. I think it was yesterday. The mistake that I made. It's like Evening Peter thinks he can budget in 13 minutes and then compartmentalize and completely detach from all of that context. Morning Peter knows that Evening Peter can't do that. And so the more decisions that I give Evening Peter and the more time that Evening Peter has to make decisions, typically the worse off. So I like to do low effort activities in the evening, reading, uh, Duolingo, and so I haven't quite figured out because I would like to eat dinner sooner so that I can get better sleep, so that it doesn't affect my sleep. But at the same time, I want to basically minimize the time after dinner, which is competing thoughts. Because basically, I see energy and focus as like peaks in the morning, and then as the day goes on, it just gets worse and worse. And so basically, I want to put all of the best or the most important activities and focus and work up front, and then taper off the energy and focus required. So it's like highest mover, most important tasks in the morning, 4 hour work session. In the afternoon, it's like trying to get work done, doing some admin stuff, and then um, in the evening, it's like reading, budgeting. I was gonna say journaling, but I don't really do that. Um, in the sense of just in the middle of the day opening up the journal. So anyway, that's what I've learned so far, and that's kind of my um, strategy. Uh, Let me know what your strategy is. Maybe you maybe pick something up, um, rationale or an idea, or maybe not. Maybe you have a better strategy. But this has been working for me so far. So gonna stick to it. Try to. I mean, I'm always in the I'm always in the mindset of trying to optimize. So anything that I can do better, I'm looking for. But yeah, this is kind of what I've settled into over the last couple of years. So anyway, daily routine. Oh, I didn't talk about how it went yesterday. Um, Talked about the cramps. Um, Gave me more time after dinner. Yeah, um, it was. it was more hot. It was hotter when I was working out. So and basically I sacrificed time that I could have spent working for working out, basically for showering. I mean, you got to shower, but yeah, I think the experiment from yesterday taught me that later at the like 4:35 working out is still best. So yeah, that's my how I went yesterday. See you tomorrow.